Tough night. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think it's a reality check. As you say, you got off to the perfect start. Exactly what you need in a European night. Start fast, get yourself in front, build on it, 2-0 up. But then from that moment, Real Madrid came back into it, scored quite quick, fantastic goal. From then, Liverpool were dominated and outclassed for large periods from there.
How worrying to concede 5?
Well, look, I think any team, any club, if you concede 5 goals, there's got to be an inquest into why and how, and I'm sure Jurgen will do that in the coming days. I think everyone will be a bit raw on the back of that defeat. Liverpool don't concede 5 goals here at Anfield. If they do, it's very rare. So yeah, there's going to be a bit of soul searching, a bit of looking in the mirror, sure. There always is when you concede that many goals, and yeah, it weren't good enough.
To come here and to manage this crowd, we were walking around up to the studio from our position before on the pitch, all looking at each other going, wow, this place is bouncing, they're up for it. Went 2-0 down and then being able to manage that as well in this cauldron. It was the size of that job that the task they had ahead of them at that period when they went 2-0 down, the experience to manage the game and to get back in. I think I agree with Stevie, they scored at good times, scored quick, but the class in those players, the experienced players and the younger players, the blend that they have on that pitch. I never had them down as being a team that's capable to repeat and win again, but now after that, you have to put them in there.
Sometimes in football, you've got to hold your hand up and say the best team won, you're outclassed, you were dominated, they were better. In most areas of the pitch, you'd have to say. They got off to a slow start, but their experience, the reaction was absolutely top class. And we're witnessing here absolute greatness in Modric and Benzema. You know, you're talking about players that are operating on a different level than most.
What you have got, though, is a Liverpool team that they play in a way that if it crumbles, you know, a good team like Real Madrid can pick them apart. They're so brave, and that's why they're so good. You know, when they're on, and they're impossible to stop. But when it's just not going right, they can be picked apart, and especially against good teams like that.
I think a great thing about this Real Madrid team as well is they have a number of players who can take the ball and take the sting out of the game. Modric for one, Benzema another, Vinicius, Rodrigo now starting to do it. Those players, they give you that little bit of time and
young
composure.
kids are doing it. Camavinga's doing it. Like, he's 20 years old, but he's receiving the ball in tight areas like a really mature, experienced player with under pressure.
Well, look, we're going to go through it all. We've got 2 touch screens ready to go, plenty of analysis coming your way, a painful watch at times for Liverpool fans, and of course we will talk about whether they can go to Spain and score 4 goals to stay in this competition.
A bruising night, is that as difficult a defeat for you to take?
Very difficult. It's hard to sum it up straight after the game, you know. It's mixed feelings, obviously disappointment and frustration with the result. But for large parts of the first half, definitely I felt we performed well. Probably unlucky to go in at half-time level. But we made too many mistakes around the goals especially. And when you make mistakes, a team like Madrid punish you, and they punished us every time tonight.
I imagine when you've just come off the pitch, it's really hard to dissect what happened out there. Do you feel like the goals you conceded were all down to your mistakes?
I mean, a lot of to do is their quality as well. They've got quality players everywhere, but I think we didn't help ourselves for sure, especially the set piece, I think, which I'm not sure was a foul, to be honest, but we didn't defend it well enough. And then after that, there was a few goals. Yeah, we can do better, of course. And the game went away from us at that point.
You conceded 5 goals at Anfield for the first time ever in the Champions League at Anfield. Is it worrying the amount of goals that the team is shipping at the moment?
Well, the last 2 games, I think we kept clean sheets, didn't we?
Prior to that, yeah.
So it's hard. It is difficult to come here and speak because, yes, they have a lot of quality, and we knew that. And when you're not 100% defending, they punish you like they have done, and we caused ourselves a little bit of problems at times. But yeah, it's a tough one to take in the end.
Going 2-0 up so early on in the game, there must have been a feeling that you were on top in the match and you could go on and take a lead to the Bernabeu for the second leg. So at half-time, when they've pulled it back and it's 2-2, what was the feeling then going into the second half?
I thought we were unlucky to go in at half-time level, definitely, but we still played a good first half, I felt. I felt as though we were on top. Created some good chances. I think there was a big chance at 2-0 a little bit of a scuffle on the line. I think if that goes in, it's a big moment in the match. But you know, the first goal, yes, we can probably block it, but it's a great finish. Individual brilliance again. The second goal, obviously, it's a mistake, but them things can happen. And then the third one, I think we'll be really disappointed with the set piece. So at that point, that's when the game went away from us. But performance level, I think first half was very good, and then second half obviously wasn't as good, and we got punished.
Halfway through the tie, how do you begin to pick yourselves up going into that second leg now?
Well, I think it's still a few weeks away, isn't it? So, yes, we can analyse now and think about it now, but we've got to move on quickly. We've got games coming in the Premier League over the next few weeks before then, so we need to concentrate that on that and cross this bridge when we're coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, fair play, Jordan, coming out and speaking to us after that defeat. Never easy. Let's go pitch side, because there aren't many people left in Anfield, as you can see. Just some celebrating Real Madrid fans. They don't want to leave. Who can blame them? And Peter Crouch. Look, Peter, Jordan made the point there that they've got to recover from this quickly, and they do, don't they? That's the key here for Jurgen Klopp and his team.
Yeah, it is. You know, it was a massive blow for them. I thought the second half was incredibly disappointing. You know, Real Madrid blew them away. I think you know, I was right behind the dugout and behind Jurgen Klopp, and I think the third goal was the killer, really, because you can get undone by, you know, Benzema, Modric, you know, bits of class, but from a set piece and you know, it's quite a simple run. To concede that third goal was the real killer, and Jurgen was incredibly disappointed by that. And then Real Madrid just took the game away from Liverpool. I thought the boys touched on it in the studio there. Camavinga, Modric just had the ability to take the sting out of the game, and that's what they did, and that's why they proved that they're champions at the minute.
Stephen, it's easy to say this is Real Madrid, European champions, and they had a brilliant night. What do Liverpool, though, need to do to understand what went wrong from their perspective this evening?
I think what you need to understand is against high-class opposition and world-class individuals, you can't afford to make individual errors. You've got to defend well from set plays, and you know, to take an advantage there, they had to defend an awful lot better than they did tonight. They did play well for chunks of the first half. They got off to an incredible start. Obviously, the goal that Alisson gives away is disappointing, but for me, I said at half-time, OK, they've got back into the game, it's level, and the first half was pretty even. They had both 2 goal line opportunities, you know, where there was fantastic tackles, Andy Robinson and Carvajal, so it was very even at half-time. They had to reset. They had to come out in the second half with a different mentality. Rio said it, be aggressive, be on the front foot again, start pressing again. Liverpool come out slow, and they conceded an incredible poor goal from a set piece, because you can't all be in one straight line, Jake. You've got to have that set up differently, and you've got to defend it like a corner, and they didn't. That gave Real Madrid big confidence tonight.
We'll have a proper look at all of the goals. Peter, just coming back to you for a final question. Look, there's no away goals in the competition this year, but Liverpool are still going to have to go and score 4 goals in the Bernabeu to beat Real Madrid over 90 minutes. What chance?
No, it's a big ask. You can't write them off. Liverpool have come back before, but you know, the way Real Madrid played tonight, you think it's a big ask for them.
Jurgen, a quite extraordinary game of football. How do you even begin to describe what happened out there?
Yeah, best with the beginning, it was outstanding. It was us in a nutshell. It was perfect, exactly how we wanted to play, causing problems all over the place. We're really in the game, super intense start, 2-0 up. I think the whole first half was good, besides the goals. Obviously, the first goal, we became slightly passive, a bit higher up the pitch already. We were not chasing them where we had to chase them, because this is a team, when you let them, when you get passive, this is you get punished. We realized in that moment, yeah, and the second goal is slapstick, should not happen, can happen. And it's 2-2, but the feeling in half-time was rather, yeah, they probably think we cannot do it again, but we can, and we can change 5 times, and then we can keep the rhythm and these kind of things. But then the first situation, pretty much, they played a long ball to Vinicius. He's in that 1-1 situation. I'm not sure it's a foul, but in the end, he whistles it. And then how we defend that is obviously not okay. That's then the 3-2. And that doesn't help against a team who is obviously outstandingly good in counter-attacks. It doesn't help, and so we played there in their cards and could not really get back on track anymore. You need to play a game like we played in the first half for full 95 minutes. That's possible, but you need to get the momentum back. And after we conceded 2 goals, and with the third 3-2, that was exactly the opposite. They became more confident. And scored, great goals. One was deflected, I think, and that's how it is. Then it's obviously it's a strange one, but yeah, we lost 5-2, and we know that as well. But there's a lot for me to take from as well, to be honest.
It's intriguing, the comment about being passive. Do you think that can sometimes happen when you've gone ahead and started a game so well that it can happen to the players on the pitch?
Yeah, of course it can happen. How I said, not each team uses that then in the manner they do. But I think in a situation they score, we have like 5 or 6 players around, and no challenge. That's obviously, that cannot happen. We were passive until the ball arrived there, and then we obviously was a little bit, take you, I'm there, whatever. That's then how that goal happened. Can happen, but should obviously not happen. You can, if the only way you can make, if you want to slow down, whatever, how you want to say, the game a little bit, is in possession. You have to keep the ball then. But then we started, obviously, second half especially, we lost balls in strange moments. So first half, we played in the half spaces sensationally well. In the second half, the wrong players were in the half spaces. We played the ball there, and they could win it. Then it's a massive challenge to organize the protection, because they leave then Vinicius and Benzema up front. The center halves have to be really, have to step really into the pitch to block or defend Benzema, and Vinicius is pretty much not to defend then, because with the speed he has, and he has nothing else to do than pretty much to wait there and just show his skills.
And 2-2 at half-time. Coming out for that second half, the game was still there for the taking, wasn't it? So what was it that changed for them? Did they show their experience out there?
Yeah, in moments then, of course, as well, but it was the start. I think it was, wasn't it the first ball? First ball they played to the left side, which they couldn't do that in a complete first half. That's simple. So we didn't go out and try to defend or attack the centre half. Was it Camavinga? Was it, don't know who played that ball? Maybe Militao. But then it's a 1-1 situation, and then Joey goes on that side. It's fine. And I think we defend then the situation in the moment, but then the free kick, and again, a free kick can happen. But then this space, that's not possible at the players that alone. That's really not possible. But it happened, and that's why we were at 3-2. And then, how I said, then you feel intensity. If you don't get that, then you don't feel intensity, and you keep going. That's not a problem. But you have to keep the momentum, and there we lost it, and didn't get it really back, to be honest.
Well, it's only halfway through the tie. It's going to take something pretty special to turn things around. However, Liverpool were written off against Barcelona a few years ago, and you managed to do that, but that was at home.
Exactly.
So is it going to be even more difficult to do it at the Bernabeu?
Yeah, of course. But we will go there and we'll play a football game. Now, it's not the best start for it and the best basis for it. We didn't create that tonight. Obviously, everyone knows when we saw it tonight how good they are in counter-attack if we have to score goals there. And they can, in their own stadium, each single counter-attack can be the decider. So it will be a massive challenge. But we have a little time until then. We have to play in our Premier League. We have to recover and make sure that we take the right things from this game. And and the rest we have to learn from as well.
Thanks, Jurgen.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and thank you, Jules. Good breakdown, actually, from Jurgen. And for him to talk about going passive at 2-0, that's what happened. I suppose the confusing thing for Liverpool fans is why it happened. This is a Liverpool team that under Jurgen Klopp have never been passive. They've gone 2-0 up and gone on and won 3 or 4-0. Yeah,
I wouldn't say they were passive for the whole game. It was big moments in the game. And this is the worst team and the worst individuals to be passive against, because they punish you. If you give them that time and space and you're aggressive against them, they're brilliant around the box, and it only takes a little small mistake or a little small bit of someone being passive, one individual, and you get punished with goals, like the first goal. There's bodies round it. Joe can maybe be a little bit step forward, a little bit more positive. He only needs that little shift to the side and it's a goal. It's an incredible finish.
I think also you've got to remember this is a team that has been lacking confidence for a while, all season really. They've had 2 good results, 2 clean sheets the last 2 games. But you see the frailties as soon as they go behind in this game, then the experience of the other team, but also the lack of confidence over a period of time comes to the fore. And it is difficult to build confidence overnight, doesn't it? It comes with like 5, 6, 7, 8 games.
Why
at
has
moments.
it been lost so quickly this season? Like, we were looking at when the last time at this stage of the season Liverpool were not fighting for a trophy of some sort. We think it might be 2017. I mean, this is the team who for the last 6 seasons have been fighting for things at this stage.
They have, but it happens. It happens. I mean, in the COVID hit season, Liverpool lost 6 in a row here at Anfield, unheard of. And every Liverpool fan will have a different reason. I mean, or a multitude of reasons. You know, some people say, oh, it's the ownership.
Well, sure.
Some people will say, well, there's a combination. There's never one thing, Jake. Football is not like that. You know, you've had injuries right at the start, big players out, lack of confidence. People say, you know, we'll complain about the midfield and that needs lack of investment, whatever it might be. There's so many different reasons why you could pick holes, but they've had this before and they've bounced back big time, and they will bounce back again. There's too many good players here.
Injuries are a big one, actually.
Yeah, of course, especially to the individuals they've had them to. You know, a lot in the front line: Diaz, Jota, Firmino, Van Dijk. We know how important he is for Liverpool. Listen, they've turned the corner in the last couple of weeks and they've come back, and for large parts of the first half they looked like the old Liverpool. They were aggressive, played with that intensity. They scored a couple of good goals, could have scored 1 or 2 more. But there was a big moment in the game, Jake, and it was the first move of the second half. The momentum totally swung, and as Jurgen said, you're playing against the best counter-attacking team in Europe. Liverpool had to be aggressive, chased the game at 3-2, and they got punished with a couple of big goals.